Hello everyone, these are my quick thoughts on Rick James's Street Songs. Now, yeah, it has been a while, I know. I have been busy. But with that being said, I have been listening to a lot of albums. My journey has not decreased or stopped at all. I've been going. In the end of the day, I do want to make these brief reviews, these brief thoughts so that you guys can get a vibe and a sense of what the album can offer, and then maybe pick out what you like and go listen to it. Because in the end of the day, my main mission here with this is literally just if for me to score all the albums I've listened to, and if you happen to be interested to go and listen to those albums from the past and not forget them. I want those older albums, the albums that set the tone for what music sounds like today, to be remembered forever. I want people to continue listening to music of the past because it's really important to know what set the foundations of music today, and also to cherish and appreciate some songs that are wonderful and glamorous and amazing, and make sure that they are not forgotten over time. And I do think a lot of people nowadays, and understandably so, stick to what they like and stick to what they know and stick to what's popping right now, and that's fine. But there is just so much music out there that was released in the past that I have conversations with a lot of people that enjoy music, and they don't delve back. They don't go back and listen to all that stuff. So, I've always been passionate about music. So if I can get even one or two people to go back and enjoy and take away some amazing songs from the past that I recommend, that'd be huge for me. So um, that's my aim with this. So yeah, we'll get on with it. We'll get on with Rick James. So the album is a very funky, really jazzy take on R&B. There is a lot of R&B flares in this. It is taking a lot of that kind of disco vibe and funk vibe of the 70s and blending it into a more modern R&B vibe that was starting to really rise in the early 80s from what I've heard so far. It seems like Rick James was really, doing the stuff that Michael Jackson and Diana Ross and Prince were doing in paving a lane for what R&B was to end up sounding like, and modern pops ends up sounding like in the modern day right now. It feels like those guys were part of the big trailblazing crew, and this album is a big um, evidence of that, I guess. And there's a lot to enjoy here. I mean, I'll be honest, the track list has very little to complain about. It's solid, it's tight, it's genuinely nothing really that I can pick out that I can say I disliked from this track list. It is really enjoyable. There are some huge highlights on this, I will say. There are some real standouts. Fire and Desire is an incredible song. I mean, it is a ballad. It's Tina Marie, sorry, and Rick James just going at it. And it is phenomenal, honestly. And it is a slower cut. It isn't as, high tempo and upbeat as the rest of the tracks on this album. But that song is wow. It is fantastic. Their performances are insane. Ghetto Life, another amazing, upbeat, fiery track. Super Freak is another funky, amazing tune. Has the iconic bass line and melody from obviously MC Hammer's "Don't Touch This," or "Can't Touch This," sorry. And it is a great song, really enjoyable, very nice to listen to. And Mr. Policeman obviously brings that real the realism of the time that Rick James was living in, and the area that Rick James was living in terms of police brutality, and he still brings it in a way that doesn't seem, I guess, inappropriate, because he is coming still with this funky upbeat vibe, but it does work, and the song really does play out quite well, actually. I will say, obviously, there are these massive standouts compared to the other tracks on the album. That's not to say that the other tracks are bad. They are also very enjoyable, but there are those few that do stand out heads and shoulders above the rest, and that's the only thing that stops it from being the perfect 10 out of 10. The final track is great. It's nice. It's enjoyable. It's very fast. It's very upbeat. But with that being said, it doesn't have the same volume and the same, I guess, quality as some of the best songs on this album. There are other songs on here that I think are enjoyable to listen to in their own respect, but they don't quite bring the same quality as the other songs that do stand out on this track list, that do stand heads and shoulders above the rest. And I think that is something that does take away a little bit, because you can see the full potential of Rick James and what he can offer. And speaking of Rick, I do want to say one quick thing. His vocals on this are incredible. He is really going at it. He's putting his all into all of these performances, and I'll tell you what, you can hear it. He is really impressive as a singer, for sure. As a vocalist, he's very impressive. So if funk, if disco, if R&B is something that you're interested in, or if you're just interested in listening to somebody who laid the foundations for what R&B sounds like today and bring some really important and iconic R&B songs such as Fire and Desire, then I will highly recommend listening to this album. It is definitely a very enjoyable, very tight and concise track list, and besides some things that you could be nitpicky about here and there isn't really a lot to complain about. It is very, very enjoyable to listen to, and I'd highly recommend it. So with that being said, I'm definitely going to give this a solid A grade. I think this is a fantastic album, very enjoyable, and you know, I can't wait to hear if Rick James offers anything else in this journey that I'm on. Okay, so that's my thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Fingers crossed I keep this up and keep going with this. I will try my best to do so. Yeah. All right. Till the next one. Bye.